Why did Dante's nose grow in centuries? Today, we're diving into the captivating world of Dante and exploring some fascinating old paintings and drawings that portray him. Like many other ancient writers, Dante Alighieri was not portrayed during his lifetime. However, some historical images of Dante have been preserved, more or less realistic. The first image was made by Giotto more than 10 years after the writer's death. Dante's portraits show us a sober man with a rather large nose, but not over measure. Giotto knew Dante personally, but tried to depict him at a much younger age. The image is not a proper portrait, being reproduced from memory and imagination. In contrast, the other painters and draftsmen, who created today's widely known portraits, did not know him personally. For most of them, the source of inspiration was Dante's death mask, still existing in Florence, except it's not an authentic death mask, but a sculpture made centuries later. However, many other portraits did not even go to this source, but were directly inspired by other paintings. The most influential portrait was the one made by Sandro Botticelli, almost 200 years after Dante's death. His nose grew in the drawings and representations of later centuries, until an iconic, easily recognizable but unrealistic image emerged. One of the most famous images of Dante is the one painted by Domenico di Michelino, 1465. This painting is located in Florence Cathedral and depicts the poet in front of his most famous intellectual creation, the Inferno Hell with its circles. Behind Dante, you can see the dome by Brunelleschi, built almost 200 years later. Moving forward to the 16th century, we find Dante in a painting by Jacopo Pontormo. Here, Dante is depicted as a robust middle-aged man with a full head of hair. In the 18th century, Dante is portrayed as a more mature version of Pontormo's depiction. Later the French graphic artist Gustave Doré produced an illustrated edition of the Divine Comedy, which established a standard, definitive image of Dante. Also, statues of Dante are quite numerous, some of them in historical locations and in large museums. What do they have in common? Almost nothing, except for a big nose. Now, let's switch gears and talk about actors who have played Dante on screen. Renato Piazza brought Dante to life in the 1935 film Dante Alighieri, while Paolo Gozzara starred in Dante's Inferno. A character in his own work, Dante has been represented in numerous theatrical productions, recitals and performances over time. The actors may or may not have big noses, but they are always dressed in red, a legacy from the paintings of Costagno and Botticelli. So what would Dante look like if we could meet him on the street today? Here are some possible answers from AI. Keep in mind that they are no more than imaginative works, possible portraits, not true photos.
Thank you.